Hello everybody. Today I will show you how to add authentication to your Nuxt application, and for that we will use a module called Nuxt Auth Utils, and this module is also by the creator of was created from one of the creators from Nuxt, Sebastian. And basically why I did this video is because of this video, because here in this video, and I will leave the link in the description, he's basically explaining what you can do with this module. And when I tried it myself, I saw in the documentation there's no really a step-by-step guide for the demo that's also in the README in the documentation. So basically I want to show you this, how basically the goal of this video is add authentication with an OAuth provider. In this case we will use GitHub to our Nuxt application. And let's start with that. So first of all, let's create a new Nuxt application. npm nuxt create Nuxt. Let's call it Nuxt Auth Utils. Choose your packet manager. Okay, now it's trying to download the whole internet. I will pause the video for a second. So it's finished. Initialize the Git repository, so yes. Okay, you can skip that. Let's see what we have. Let's open that with Visual Studio Code. Okay, so now we have a blank application. Actually, let's start the dev server. Let's see what we got. Let's see. Local host. This should be 3000. Enter, and we see we have our Nuxt application. Okay. Let's go back to the documentation and let's start adding authentication to our application. So, first thing first. Quick setup. Add Nuxt Auth Utils in your Nuxt project. Okay, let's grab that command. Let's go back to the terminal. Let's kill the server. Let's add it here. So basically what is happening behind the scenes is, I guess it's just an npm install and adding it to the Nuxt config. And we should see that right now. Here we go. Okay, now we have installed the package. Let's go to the docs. And second step, add Nuxt session password and variable with at least 32 characters in your .env file. But as you see here, if you're running in development, you don't necessarily have to do that. So this is basically if you go to production. So we can skip that. And here it starts, not really a step-by-step guide. Here's an example for user session, but I will walk you through. So basically what we want to do is adding GitHub as our OAuth provider. And you see in this section, OAuth event handlers, what you basically do is creating a server API route. And in that API route, you export your defined OAuth event handler. This is what we are going to do. And you configure it there. And you see here you have a list of supported providers, obviously the big ones. And let's go down, and you see here's an example for GitHub. And let's try to implement it. Let me grab that. Let me copy that. Let me go here. Let me go here. Let me create a new file. Paste it here. Okay, now we have this is actually a server route. So what I mean is not using the prefix, right? It's directly using /auth/GitHub, and only allowing the GET request. Let's go back. Let's copy that. Let's go here. Let's go here. And okay, so basically this is the pattern. And if I would delete that for a second, you directly see all the providers that are mentioned in the documentation. Let's do that. So the first thing we have to configure is the config, right? And if you go back, we saw in the documentation there are several ways to configure the client secret and the client ID that you need for GitHub to act as your IDP. And we will do it here. So if I delete that, let's see, I have client ID. Let me use some dummy values for now. Let's add the client secret. I guess these are the only mandatory ones for GitHub. And that's basically it. And so the next one is on success. The success method is basically, okay, when you successfully authenticated, you can set the user session. So as you see, you're constructing a user object, and basically this user object has one attribute or one property, the GitHub ID. So what we are going to do is basically we will just use the whole user for now. And if it's successful, it's redirecting you back again to slash. And here we have what's happening in the case of an error. So, okay, the next step is we need this information. So for that, you can go to your GitHub account, go to your developer settings, go to OAuth apps, and create a new OAuth application. Click here, say demo, write some meaningful homepage, something like test.com. You get it. And this is now the only part that we really have to look at. So we need an authorization callback, and this is basically the URL we just created. Right? It's localhost, or where our dev server is running, /auth/GitHub. Let me remind you, if you use the routes folder, you don't have the API prefix, and you have /auth/GitHub. Right? This file. So this, and register the application. Okay, so what we got our client ID. Let's copy that. Let's go back, paste it here. And yeah, I know. Don't worry. I will delete that. Okay, let's see. Yes. Oh, okay. Here's a space. So okay, we have that, and actually, that's it. So basically, we added GitHub authentication to our application. So obviously, there's nothing on the front end, but we have the server route. Let's test the server route actually, right? Let's go here, and let's say /auth/GitHub, and we expect now that we will be redirected to GitHub and will be logged on. Unable to connect. Yes, sir. You're right. That's obviously correct. npm run dev. Let's go back. Reload, and you see it's redirected me and asking me if I want to authorize myself. Yes, I will do that, and it's bringing me back to the home page. So nothing happened. But if we would now look at our cookies, and you will see it, I don't know if you can see it. Yes, here under localhost cookies, we have this Nuxt session object and Nuxt session cookie. And here we have the session cookie stored. And actually, if I would reload that page, now let me go to the network, we should see in every request the cookie is sent. So, and this is everything you can read in the official documentation. This is using sealed secure cookies for authentication. Okay, we have that. Now let's see how we can add it on the front end. So first of all, let's go back to the documentation. And in the beginning, you saw an example, actually here, the user session. And let me grab that and let's create let's directly do it here without any. So I paste it here. And if I go back and you see, we are logged in. Obviously, because we are just logged in, let me quickly log out, log in again. And we are not seeing everything, but at least we are seeing my name, right? And if I would go here to the network tab and log out, you see it's reaching out for that. Let me do it again. Let me actually filter that. Maybe we see /auth. Yeah, we see the request here, right? Log out, log in. Yes. Okay, so it's working. But let's go back to the example, adjust it a little bit. And VS Code, and we see user.login, right? So we have this in our there's also in the documentation guide where you can enhance the user type with your additional attributes. So okay, logged in since add this we don't have, but I guess we can add that. I guess it's here. Let's do that. Let's quickly go to the documentation. And where is it? I saw it. Oh, yeah, we just let's add this. Let's copy that, grab that. Let's put that here. That's okay. Let's go back. Let's log in. Yes, you see that? So basically you can enhance or strip your user information, set basically like the method says the user session. Okay, but we want to display something more. So what we have in this user session, let's go back to the page, and we see here, let's add a pre-tag, and let's display out the user, and we see we have all the information from our user, right? We have here the login name, our avatar URL, if I would open that. Right, we have everything here. It's also nice. We can also, this is coming from the session. Let's also look at the session quickly. And we see the session has almost the same information. Let's see a session ID, the generated one. This is the login at. Yes, so basically we accomplished to add GitHub authentication to our Nuxt application. In the next video, I will show you how to protect your API routes with Nuxt Auth Utils and how to add middleware for the front end, and we will play around with that. So if you like that recording, hit subscribe and like, and if you have questions, go to the comments. Thank you.